Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this Unreal Engine Devlog video and welcome to Talundia. As you can see, I worked on the river. Yeah, and we will work on the river as well in this video because this is only a small part of the river that is already decorated, and I thought we could do a small part in this video together, then you can see how I do it. And before we concentrate on the river, I wanted to show you some new additions to my garden area. So maybe we just jump into the game and then I can show you inside the game. So first we have to wait for the grass, but it will come. And I changed the leaves of the potatoes because they didn't look like potato leaves, and therefore I went into our own garden and made some photos from the real leaves from potatoes, and then I dyed them to this brownish yellow color. Ours are green now, but I could change this. And because when the potatoes are harvest ready, they are no more green, they are brownish like that. And yeah, later I will maybe change the shape of the plant in the harvest ready state because it doesn't look as upright as this. But first I just changed the textures of the leaf and the colors. Yeah, before it was really to potato. And now we have 4 cabbages in each planter. We can harvest them. We get 4 cabbages because they were just too big. And here we have the real novelty of the garden area. I thought, even if I don't want to make a farming game with fields that you work on, I thought in this kind of self-sufficient lifestyle would be so nice to be able to bake bread and to not only have potatoes and maybe carrots that really fill your stomach, but also, for example, wheat for bread. And then I decided to make some crops in a small scale available. So here, like you can see, you just saw the wheat in the planter, and then you cut it later with a sickle. And maybe I will do a little bit bigger planters for this need, also for potatoes and such, that you can really feed yourself and sell stuff. Yeah, and so we will have wheat, but not with a tractor, only by hand and harvesting with a sickle. And now we just take them. Later I think we will have a sickle to do this. And I thought, when I have wheat I could make rice, and I made some wet planters, and there you need to put in more water than to the other plants, and in the end it will dry out and you have rice here. And rice is somehow awesome because then you can just cook your rice and have something nourishing to eat. And you wheat is always a little bit difficult because you need to make flour out of it and then bake it, and so cooked wheat is not so good. I tried it when I was young and I got quite a lot of bellyache from this. Yeah, and here we have flax, and we will be able to make clothes out of it. This will be quite a lot of work, so we have to soak them in water and then hit on them and then spin them, and we need a weaving machine. This will be quite interesting until we have our own clothes. And yeah, additional we will have sheep if we want, and then we can have woolen clothes as well, and maybe knitting and things like that. Okay, now let's go to the river. And maybe you already saw those pink flowers, and at least here in Germany and, or let's say, the traditional Central Europe, which is Germany, parts of France, and so on and so forth. This is a quite common plant, and mostly you find it at riverbanks, where it's really humid, and in the high summer, something like July, August and such, you see them all over the place, sometimes in very big groups. And I like them so much, and I have taken images from this plants, quite a lot of them, during my hiking trips already years ago. And I thought, oh, I want to decorate a riverbank, and then I need this purple loosestrife, is the English word, as I found out. And in German it's called Blutweiderich, and Blutweiderich means something like blood meadow guy. Very strange. It helps against, if you are bleeding, you can use the roots and the flowers against bleeding. And therefore that's the reason for the name, and maybe also for the color, but it's more like the medicinal use of this plant that gives it its German name. And the English name, sure, it is purple, purplish, pinkish, and I don't know what loosestrife means, but it sounds interesting. Yeah. And then, other than that, the grass thingies I used from the Megascan library that you get for free with the Unreal Engine. But maybe I will do some different ones myself sooner or later. Now I leave them like that because I couldn't work for months and months only on plants for riverbanks, and I think this purple loosestrife and the water plants, just go there, is enough for the time being. Here I made quite a lot of water plants because I couldn't find those water plants at the this library. There are water lilies, I think they are called. There are quite nice ones, but those are more for the lake itself and not so much for the river, I would say. And therefore I made them myself here in Blender, and different types that we have a variety, smaller and bigger, and and then there are quite a lot of rather uglier plants growing there, but that's how I know those riverbanks. So usually they are not perfectly styled with only all beautiful flowers in different colors. No, there is this purple loosestrife, and other than that a lot of shrubs in different kinds. So not big shrubs, but stuff that grows and usually doesn't look so beautiful. So those wonderful purple loosestrives, they are surrounded by different kinds of more or less ugly grasses and maybe even urticaria. I forgot the English name of this burning plant. Not the poison ivy. No, no, no. The other one. This. Maybe you know it. Which is everywhere in gardens and in the nature and yeah. But not the poison ivy. The other one that hurts a lot when you touch it. We have quite a lot on those riverbanks. But I couldn't find those in the library, and I thought we could definitely live without it for the time being. Later, I think we should have them in the game, because with those... One moment, I have to find out the name. Okay, it's just nettle. Yeah, the burning kind of the nettle. Yeah, and you need this, and you can make fertilizer out of it in your garden. And it's a simple way to get wonderful fertilizer and even something to treat the plants against bugs and so on. So we will have them in the game, and you can collect them to make this plant for the medicine. Oh, and I just see this looks quite nice. When maybe we stand here. Come on, just jump. Yes. And look how nice it looks with this bridge. So I make a screenshot out of it. Yeah. Okay. So I told you about my heroic deeds with the purple loosestrife and the water plants, and now maybe we should go to work. So we leave the in-game mode. Oh, I really like it. This bridge is simple, but because it is rounded, it looks quite nice. I really like it. So, what I want to do with you is to decorate this area. And I already decorated it in my German video, and when I was nearly done, the Unreal editor crashed and most of it was lost. So this stayed, and I had to dig a little bit deeper here, because this was something like a nearly dry area and where you could cross the river, but I thought, okay, we have a bridge here, so it is we don't need to have a fort. Is it a fort? An area where you can go through a river, because it's not so deep. Yeah, and everything else was lost. And then I thought, okay, I want to make an English video as well, and then I can just do it another time. And before, I wanted to decorate this area behind there with you, but now it's time for the second try for this area. And maybe I make it a little bit different, and maybe even a little bit better. So this is already done. Then we can just start in the landscape mode. No, in the foliage mode. And, which is good, I don't need to tell you what is foliage, because it's an English word. But in the gaming industry, foliage is not only everything that has leaves, but very often also rocks, because they are used in a similar way, so for decorating areas and so on. And I think we should start with the rocks. Then we can arrange them nicely and later can place the plants just around the rocks. So, oh, this is already good. I wanted to have a big one here and maybe, no, not like that. I try it again. Further down, come on here. No. Yeah, this is okay-ish. Okay, here we have a big one. We can move it later. And I leave this place empty. Then we can go to the river at this place and maybe, I don't know, to do what? Maybe to do some angling or getting water or whatsoever. So, and maybe here. And as you can see, the rocks don't look really natural because they don't listen to the physics, and that's why we have to change them. This? No, not this. But maybe another try. Okay, so we have quite a lot to arrange, but I think it's more than enough. Is it too much already? If yes, I could spread some of the rocks here in the neighborhood. Okay, now I go into the selection mode, and there I can select the single rocks and move them around. So this here, oh, it is bigger than I thought. I just put it here. And now I push this a little bit and now turn it. And I like to have rocks here at this area close to the bridge. This could be turned maybe. Wrong direction. Yes. More like that. And then it could lay on top of this. Okay. And here this should be safe. Let's dive deep into the water. Okay. Now we can get it. Push it aside. Here we are. And then take this and oh, we have two of them, which is awesome. So no. This is strange because I would say this, turning this would turn it around this, but I try it like that. No, this is not. It behaves differently than I thought, but in the end you can just try every direction and then it's good to go. So okay. And maybe here you can see something that I made with the water. I put some fog on top, so not real fog that is everywhere, but more this little fog that you see mainly in the morning above rivers and so, and this is only a tiny little bit. And so this water has two steps, so to say. Here we have this little fog, and at the edge it's a little bit too strong and so too sharp, and therefore I like to cover it with plants and so. And but maybe you can see how it's moving. Now it's nearly gone and then it's going up again. So it is moving very slowly, like this kind of fork is doing. And this is not the water, this is the fork. And underneath we have the water here. Yeah, and I wanted just to make this foggy mist, maybe mist is the right word, a little bit mist above the water to give it some more atmospheric, immersion. And first I tried to, maybe I should just save. First I tried to do the real fog, and I wanted to do it all along the river, and then that you can switch it on in the morning and maybe in the evening, and in the daytime it's smaller and so. And when I have time implemented in the game. Yeah, and then my game editor was crashing constantly. And I already had some of those volumetrics forks here in this area, and especially there, and here and there. So at all four edges of the map. And because I like the look of it, it just looks more atmospheric and so. And when I made this, the game started crashing from time to time. And with an additional fork, I couldn't use it at all. It was always crashing. And so then I decided to remove two of those forks, this here, there, and this in this area, and instead raise the fork that is the basic fork of the whole. It is called the exponential height fork. And yeah, you put it in the center of your map and you can rise it or lower it down, and you have some settings with it. And I made it a little bit stronger, that everything is a little bit hazy, so you don't see it very sharp everything, but more the further it is, the more it is lost in the haze. And that is how it is very often in reality. There are days when everything is crisp and till 50 or 100 kilometers, but rather more often you have a little bit of mist or haze in the air, and you can't see crisp till very far. And for this is this exponential height fork. I made it stronger because I had to remove those forks, and since I removed two of the four forks, I have less crashes. Only now, half an hour ago, I had another crash after working on this riverbank. But it's better than before. And that told me that those kind of forks is very hard on the performance. So that's about the farm sim will get this volumetric fork, and they already showed us some very, very nice landscape pictures. And I wonder how it is working with the performance. I really wonder whether it works fine or whether we will get some problems with this because of the crashes that I experienced. So this fog that we will get is not a small thing. It's quite a big thing for the the optical state of the game. And I really like the images that we got for the FarmSim 25. But we will see whether it will work out everywhere or whether those older computers will have to deactivate it also. So, like this is better. And now I want this here. Oh, here we have a little one. Oh, I can't reach it. I have to dive. So, yes. Yeah, here we are. So maybe I just push it a little bit here. And then we take that. So, is it at the ground? Yes. So luckily it's easier with the plants. Sometimes I have to move the plants around as well, but usually you can just paint them and they're good to go. So I think this is okay for the moment. Oops, no. Somehow they mixed up those arrows of the gizmo. Okay, why not like that? And this here. Okay. Rocks may always be a little bit buried in the ground. That helps quite a lot. So, here, the last group. And this. Oops, come on. Yeah, we can just bury it a little bit deeper, and that here, it has to fall down. I try to imagine how the physics would work on those stones. And I'm totally aware that I don't make it perfectly. But I guess in the end it's better than before, after the painting of the rock. Okay, I think we can leave it like that. Yeah, I like it. I like it already. So I think one could just leave it, but I don't want to leave it. I want to use my purple loosestrife, but maybe I won't use it at all places of the river, because then it's all so similar, and maybe to have some different areas is nicer in the end. Then you are more happy about seeing the purple loosestrife. So come on now. Here we have a good place to paint. And now I deactivate the rocks. And I would say now we paint those purple loosestrifes. Like so. Yeah. And this is the selection mode, therefore I don't see all the other stuff. Here it's okay. Maybe the 0.1 is too much. We will see. Yeah. Oh, what was that? Very strange. It opened just by itself. But just an empty browser is not such a problem, I would say. So we make 0.03. No, this is a comma, not a 3. Okay. And maybe I save it. And then we try again. Just click. Yeah, I think that would be okay. So they are not standing inside the water, but not in that direction either. So rather along the water. And rather often in rather big groups. So it is not only because I like them that there are so many of it. This is how I experience it in nature. Oh, maybe that was a little bit too much, but maybe here one more group. And I guess I have never seen them apart from a river. So never just in the meadow or so. Maybe I just leave it as it is. Okay. So now, do I make some manual adjustments? Maybe this is the big group and the select, and then here we are, and I just turn it around because usually it's more in along the river. Yeah, not strictly along the river, but more likely. Okay, so now the paint mode again and deactivating this, and now I want to paint swamp grass. Because this is something else that is very typical for the here make more of them, or rather 1.5, okay. For the riverbanks, how I know them here in my area, and I don't mean the big rivers that usually they have, they are not so natural, the riverbanks of the big rivers. Only parts of them, but the smaller, the little creeks and so. They are usually quite overgrown, the banks, so you can't go directly to them. And those purple loosestrife, they don't stand alone, but they always have some big grass around themselves, some nettles and other stuff. And it's not easy to reach them, so you have to have good pants and good shoes to go there if you want to make a close-up image from them. And usually you can only see them from rather medium far away, because they have such a lot of neighbors. So maybe I want it even a little bit denser, and maybe just smaller the brush, that we get some. And as this is swamp grass, we can easily let it grow in this muddy, wet area, not directly inside the water, but or rather at the edge of the water, yes. So okay, I think that's it for the time being. And later I will get some nettles and maybe even some another hot dog plant. I guess you know what it is, because the name is really speaking, and which has this brown cylindrical shape on top. And I will remove those kind of plants and more use those hot dog plants and others. So this is, I'm sure it's not the final version of the river decoration, but I will keep it for a while because there are more important things to do. Even if I would just go on and make it perfect, but that wouldn't make any sense. So I save it now. Okay, it didn't crash, luckily, and now we can go into the selection mode and look for the content browser, and then we search for the water plants that I made myself, and therefore I'm very proud. And I try to leave this area open, to have an interactive area, even if it screams for put some plants here. So, and now I turn those. So, okay. When I was building my maps, then those kind of stuff was only always provided by giants, because as modders we are allowed to use the assets that they use in their own maps. And the maps are full of quite nice assets, and therefore we don't need to make our own water plants and so. But building my own game, I suddenly have to do it myself, and I enjoy it a lot. I love to do it. Yeah, but it's somehow an additional work that I have to do. I thought with the Unreal Engine I would get all this stuff more or less included, because they have this Megascan project and you can buy assets, and but working with those assets I've found out and decided most of it is not suitable for my taste. The buildings have much too much polygons and much too huge textures, and they don't make good use of the textures, and a lot of the plants too. So maybe I can show you an example. So let's just go there. Ooh, it is the... I have it here. Here we have peppermint. We will have peppermint in the game for sure. Soft steam sunflower, no. Rembrandt. Here it's not. Maybe it is in the original folder. Common fern. Goldenrod. Yes. And depending on where you live, you might know this plant. It is so... In my area it is very, very common in late summer, and it comes from the Americas, and I think it's everywhere in Europe now. And it has, let's see whether we can see it here. Yeah, it has nearly 700,000 triangles. This is more triangles than half of a village that I built, or let's say, yeah, the buildings of a whole farm have so many polygons. This single plant. And okay, yeah, they made it really nice. It is wonderful. I like it. I would love to use it. And here you can see it is really made really good. You can't complain. But it costs as much as a whole farm. All the buildings of a farm. With furniture. Yeah, and therefore I can't afford to use this. Isn't it sad? Because they really made it nice. I will have this goldenrod in the game, because it's such a signature plant. But I will have to make it myself, and I will have to make it much more simple. It is a pity. Maybe in 10 years, so when my game is successful and I have yeah, like version 2 or Talundia 7 or so, then we can afford to have such things. So now back to the water plants. But what I wanted to show you is, in comparison, this looks much simpler. When you really have a close look, you see how it's done. It is the flowers are made, but I have 6 shapes like a star, and so therefore you can see it from all sides. But I didn't made a model out of every little flower, so I couldn't afford this. And when we click this, it is more like here, purple loosestrife, the biggest group, and I guess this group is the biggest group. This is part of the landscape. It has just where is it? 4,000 triangles, all those plants. So it's like 20 plants or so, 4,000. And you can see it, it is not as perfect as the other one. But yeah, 4,000 for a group of plants is totally okay. But 700,000 is not at all okay. Yeah, and most of the computers would collapse from this. And then you wouldn't have good performance when gaming. It's very sad, but such is the reality. And those water plants here, this big one has 50 triangles. And the texture is just 1K texture. And as I use the parts of the texture several times, but in a different way, like turned here, turned like there, and so, it doesn't look too uniform, I would say. And here, yeah, that would go, that the plants grow between this, because those are very, very tiny plants. It's duckweed. So, and maybe we add some more duckweed in this corner, because this will be a peaceful corner where those duckweeds can be very happy. Like so. And maybe we put even one more. Okay, has it been copied? Yeah, it has. And now I just turn it around. And then maybe push it a little bit underneath. So. Okay. And now it looks like a big group of duckweed with plants growing through the little plants. Okay. And maybe I should have some here as well. Where is the duckweed? Okay. But I'm really sad about this goldenrod because it's so nice. And that happens with such a lot of objects. I really like them. And then I see, oh no, I can't use them at all. Because then this game would only work with 4090 Ti graphics card, and the very intensive rich gamers, they have it, but most of the gamers have much smaller machines. Okay, it is submerged. Come on. And maybe here some more with bigger leaves, and then it's good. Here you can see the texture that I made. I have 4 areas and I made 4 squares, and then I combined them in Blender. And it is a lot of fun and joy to do such things. But it takes quite a while. maybe rather turning it 180 degrees, and then, yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, then here we only have a narrow area without plants, but I see this quite often in reality. So I go and save, and then I push them up to the river area. Okay. Here is another one. And now it's nice and tidy again. And now let's have a look. Yeah, and later maybe I make some wooden thingy that you can use to go there, to stand there and do some fishing also. Oh yeah. Let's look. Wow. I only would love if there wouldn't be these red circles, but I don't know how to remove them. Wow, I like it. It looks like in some kind of park or so. I really like it. Yeah, what do you think about the river decoration? And here I just see the water is running over it too strongly. I only have to find it again. Oh, it is this. Oh, then I would need to turn it slightly. Ooh, only very little bit. Come on, come on. Yeah, no, 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 no. No, not too much. Yes. Okay. Can I just click on it? No, I can't. So. Maybe that's okay. So here it would be deeper, but it's not so submerged yet. Let's see. Oh, I could even make it a little stronger, this tiny little bit. Come on. No. So, come on, come on. So. Yeah, and now a little bit deeper maybe. Until it started being submerged, and then I go up again. And a little bit water on top is okay with this kind of plants, I think. Yeah, I hope this is better than before. I really like it. Okay, I think that's it for this video. What will I do next? I think I won't do another video before the FarmCon. That is at the first weekend of July. And then when I come back home, I will start working again here on this Talundia map. And maybe I can manage to build a house for the neighbor, that we really have a neighbor that is living there. And I want to add the chicken to our farm, and I want to change the person, the avatar gaming person. And I like this woman that we have now, but she is more like 1950 from the time period, and I want it more old-fashioned, and I can't change her. I have to take her how she is, and I have a program where I can make people myself, and I can buy clothes for different eras and so. Yeah, and yeah, when I have done all this and maybe worked a little bit here and there, maybe I could start working with the real farming. But I think that will still take some time, so that you plant the stuff or sow it, and then you have to weed it and wet it and do all this kind of stuff, and this is a future project. Okay, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.